Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the official stuff, the police reports, the sheriff logs, and kind of boil it down.
Yeah, we're looking for the real story, the local tea, you could say.
Exactly. Not the big headlines, but what's actually happening, like right down your street. So grab your coffee.
Or your beverage of choice.
Right. Because today we are heading north, metaphorically speaking. We're diving into the weekly blotter for Antigo, that's Antigo, and the rest of Langlade County.
That's right. We're going to be your guides, kind of sorting through the official records for the first part of October. We're looking at, let's see, October 7th through the 15th.
And we got a stack of reports, folks. Our listeners sent them over. And wow, everything from like high-speed chases to, well, missing refrigerators.
Yeah, and masked individuals, too. It's quite a mix.
So our goal today, it isn't just reading a list, right? We want to feel the pulse of the place through these reports.
What are the patterns? What are the really weird moments? What does it all say about living in Langlade County?
Totally. And just a reminder, it's all anonymous. We're not using names or exact addresses, just the juicy details.
The entertaining bits, yeah. But before we jump in, we really got to talk about the geography here. It's super important.
Oh, definitely. Because it really shapes what kinds of calls we're seeing.
Exactly. It's like a tale of two different policing worlds, almost. You've got the Antigo Police Department, right? Handling the city itself.
Right. So that's going to be more like neighbor disputes, shoplifting, stuff happening at the stores, the schools, the gas stations, places folks know.
Yeah, people packed closer together, more friction points, Classic city stuff.
But then you switch over to the Langlade County Sheriff's reports.
And boom, totally different landscape. We're talking vast distances, rural incidents.
Like what?
Well, traffic stuff on the big U.S. highways, trucks losing their loads, we'll get to that, lots of deer incidents, obviously, and just patrolling huge wooded areas, state roads. It's a different ballgame.
For sure. And this specific week, October 7th to the 15th, it really highlighted that difference, didn't it?
It absolutely did. Think about it. The skills you need as an officer dealing with, say, a shoplifter in Antigo are pretty different from a deputy trying to track down a car doing 100 miles an hour on some dark highway out in the county.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so we got to keep that city versus county thing in mind as we go.
Definitely.
Okay, let's start where things felt maybe the most dangerous this week. The roads.
Always a good place to start in Langlade County, seems like.
Yeah, probably. If you drive around there, speed can be an issue.
Yeah.
But these reports, we're not just talking a few miles over the limit here.
No, not at all. We're talking legit high-speed stuff. Real danger.
So what was the worst?
Okay, the standout, October 11th. Deputies actually saw a vehicle pass another car doing over 100 miles per hour.
Whoa. On a state road.
On a state road, yeah. I mean, that's not just speeding. That's flight risk territory. That's incredibly dangerous.
Over 100 miles an hour. Think about deer. Think about visibility. Jeez. So did they chase them?
Well, it's interesting. The report says they didn't immediately chase, which, makes sense given the risks. High-speed chases are dicey.
Yeah, especially out there.
Right. So instead, they tried to locate the vehicle afterwards. They actually checked nearby UTV trails.
UTV trails, like off-road trails.
Exactly. Thinking maybe the car pulled off the main road, tried to hide out on one of those trails used by, four-wheelers and side-by-sides.
Huh. Smart thinking. Did they find them?
Nope. Vehicle got away clean. Vanished.
Wow. That really shows you the challenge, right? Policing those huge rural areas.
It really does. You've got fewer officers spread out over way more territory. Backup could be 20 minutes away, maybe more.
So the deputies got to make that call. Risk a super dangerous chase, or let the speeder go for now and maybe hope to catch them later. Tough call.
Yeah. And the fact they checked UTV trails tells you they probably had a hunch about where that person might go, trying to use the local terrain to escape.
And it wasn't just that one time, right? The high speeds.
Nope. Just 2 days later, October 13th, another call comes in. This time, a green GMC truck. Witness report says it was doing 100 miles per hour.
Another one. It's like a trend almost.
Kind of feels like it. And then, more standard, but still really fast. October 10th, someone got clocked doing 81 in a 55 zone. Citation mailed for that one.
81. That's still moving pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these crazy speeds seem like a real feature of driving in the county this week.
Definitely. Now compare that to what's happening inside Antigo city limits.
Okay.
While the sheriff's dealing with cars hitting warp speed, Antigo PD is doing more focused enforcement, like on October 9th.
What happened then?
Police did a traffic stop involving 2 cars at once, and it resulted in 2 separate speeding tickets being mailed out.
2 cars, 2 tickets from one stop. So, like, they were following each other too close, or maybe racing?
Could be either. Maybe traveling together, both speeding, or, yeah, maybe one following too close. It just shows how in the city, with more eyes and closer quarters, officers can sometimes snag multiple violations at once. More concentrated enforcement power.
Makes sense. Easier to spot things when everything's closer together.
Exactly. But whether folks were flying or just driving badly, the road chaos didn't stop there. Let's talk unsecured loads.
Ah, yes. My favorite category. The comedy of cargo.
It really is something. This is where, hauling stuff, crops, wood, even appliances meets highway speeds and things go wrong.
Spectacularly wrong sometimes.
It's like a dangerous pattern. Okay, October 8th. First, you had the dump truck saga.
Sounds ominous.
Well, a dump truck lost a load of wood chips. Kind of annoying, messy, but maybe not deadly.
Okay, manageable.
But then, later that same day, another report. Large rocks falling off a different truck. Said the gate wasn't latched properly.
Whoa, okay. Rocks falling off a truck? That's serious. That could smash a windshield, cause a major accident.
Absolutely. Big-time hazard for anyone driving behind them. Potential for serious damage or injury there.
Yikes. What else fell off a truck?
Well, nothing says rural life quite like this one. October 10th. A report about a farm truck. Wait for it. Spraying corn silage all over a U.S. highway?
Corn silage, like wet, chopped up corn stalks.
Exactly. Thankfully, when the deputies checked, most of it was just on the shoulder, so more of a mess than a total road blockage.
Still, imagine driving through a sudden spray of silage. Gross. And probably startling.
Oh, for sure. Your windshield wiper is working overtime. But hang on, the absolute winner, the head scratcher of the week, also October 8th.
Okay, I'm ready.
A refrigerator found just lying in a lane of traffic.
A whole refrigerator just in the road.
A whole refrigerator, middle of a lane.
Get out of here. How? I mean, what? Did it fall off a truck? Did someone just dump it there?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The report doesn't say how it got there, but think about the effort. Moving a fridge takes work, right? You gotta strap it down securely.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a 2-person job, usually. And straps. Lots of straps.
So someone went to all that trouble, presumably, and then failed so badly that this giant appliance ends up completely blocking a lane of traffic. It's almost impressive incompetence.
Or maybe pure laziness. Just dumped it. What would the ticket even be for that? Littering a fridge.
Huh. Yeah, could be improper disposal, littering, creating a road hazard. Depends if they find who did it, I guess.
Okay.
But mostly it's just, wow, a testament to something. Human error, bad decisions.
All of the above, probably. Okay, so with all this chaos, speeding, falling rocks, flying fridges, what were the consequences? Were people getting tickets, warnings?
It was a mix, like usual. Lots of written warnings for the smaller stuff. Broken taillight, loud exhaust, couldn't find the insurance card right away.
Standard procedure. Gives folks a chance to fix it without a fine.
Right. But there were definitely serious citations, too. October 8th, someone got ticketed for driving while their license was suspended or revoked. That's a definite penalty.
Can't drive if you don't have a valid license.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. And then the triple threat award, maybe, goes to a driver stopped just after midnight on October 14th.
Uh-oh. What'd they get?
Citations for having an open container of alcohol, driving after their license was revoked, and having no insurance.
Oof. That's a bad trifecta. Open booze, no license, no insurance. That driver was having a rough night and probably made it rougher.
Yeah, that's hitting a lot of red flags all at once. Shows multiple failures to follow the rules. Serious stuff.
But wait, there was one incident, I think it was October 10th, one that seemed a little odd. Driver stopped for crossing the center line.
Ah, yes. That one definitely caught my eye, too. Driver stopped for driving left of center. Officer administers field sobriety tests.
Which the driver failed, right?
Which the driver reportedly failed. But then the outcome. Just a formal warning. For the original offense, driving left of center, no OWI charge.
Okay, that is weird. You failed the sobriety tests, which usually leads to an arrest for drunk driving, right? But here, just a warning. How does that happen? Well, it highlights how much discretion officers have on the road. A failed field sobriety test, or FST, is usually strong evidence for probable cause to arrest for OWI and do a breathalyzer or blood test.
Usually.
Usually. But maybe. Maybe the officer, after talking more, decided the failure wasn't due to alcohol or drugs. Maybe it was a medical issue or extreme fatigue. That's possible.
Okay, that's one theory.
Or theory two. Maybe the officer felt the case for OWI was kind of borderline. Maybe the FST failure wasn't super dramatic and they figured it might not hold up in court. So they opted for the quickest solution, get the driver off the road with a warning.
Possible. Any other reasons?
Third possibility, and this happens sometimes, especially in rural areas with fewer resources. Maybe the driver was cooperative, maybe there were other factors, and the officer decided the priority was just getting that person home safely, rather than tying up time and resources with a full OWI arrest and processing, which can take hours.
So like a resource management decision almost. In a place like Langlade County, maybe pulling one officer off patrol for hours to process an OWI isn't always the most efficient use of time, unless it's a really clear-cut case.
It could be a factor. It seems like a gap, right? Failed the test but no arrest. But it might reflect the practical realities of policing in a large county with limited staff. Get the immediate danger off the road, issue the warning, document it, and move on to the next call.
Fascinating. It really shows there's more to it than just broke the rule, get the ticket. There's judgment involved, officer discretion.
Absolutely. It's a balancing act between the letter of the law, public safety, available resources, and the specific situation right there on the roadside. A really telling detail from the reports.
Okay, speaking of dangers out there in Langlade County,
Yeah.
let's shift from the human drivers to the animal kingdom.
Ah, yes. Where the local wildlife and sometimes pets take center stage. And the land itself creates problems.
And we know who the main character is in this story, right?
Oh, yeah. Always. The deer.
Always the deer. I mean, seriously, looking through these reports for just 1 week, the number of car versus deer crashes is kind of nuts.
It's relentless. We saw multiple reports of drivers hitting deer self-reported, usually on October 9th, the 11th, 12th, 13th, and the 15th.
So basically every other day, someone's reporting hitting a deer. At least.
At least. And those are just the ones where the car got damaged enough that the driver felt they needed to file a report, probably for insurance.
Right. How many fender benders with deer don't get reported?
Exactly. The fact that drivers just call it in themselves shows how routine it is. They know the drill. Call dispatch, report it, maybe take some photos for insurance, and then figure out how to get their car fixed. It's like a known hazard of driving there.
And the reports also show that sad side job the deputies have to do, right?
Yeah, the grim duty, October 15th, really early, before sunrise, a deputy gets called out to find an injured deer on the road and, well, dispatch it, put it out of its misery.
Ugh, tough job. And then another call like that later the same morning.
It's necessary, though. An injured deer suffering by the road isn't just sad, it's dangerous. It can stumble back into traffic, cause another accident, distract drivers.
So the deputies are basically doing cleanup, making sure the roads are safe before the morning commute really starts.
Pretty much. Clearing the hazard. It's just part of the job when you're patrolling miles and miles of roads cutting through dense woods and fields. A very Langlade County kind of task.
Okay, so moving from the wild animals to the neighborhood pets. Always some good stories there.
Oh, yeah. Classic small-town stuff usually pops up, like the silent dog case.
The silent dog, what's that?
October 7th, a complaint comes in about a dog barking all night long. Kept someone awake. So an officer goes to check it out.
Standard procedure for a noise complaint, right?
Yeah. Officer gets to the building, goes into the hallway near the apartment, listens,
Yeah.
hears nothing. Dead quiet.
Of course. The dog knew the cops were coming. Read the schedule.
Must have. So when that happens, officer shows up, violation's not happening anymore. What's the usual next step? Just close the call.
Pretty much. If there's no barking, there's no violation to enforce right now. The officer notes it down as unfounded or unable to locate violation. They might still talk to the person who called just to let them know they checked and didn't hear anything.
Makes sense. Can't ticket a quiet dog.
Right. Then we had a welfare check call on October 12th. Someone was worried about a husky and several skinny cats at a house.
Okay, that sounds more concerning. Animal welfare.
Yeah, but when the officers went by, nobody was home.
Ah, so that one probably stays open, right? They'd have to follow up, maybe get animal control involved if they keep seeing signs of neglect.
You'd think so. Requires more investigation when they can't make contact right away. But there was a successful animal intervention later in the week,
Oh, good. What happened?
October 14th. The police got permission, sounds like, from the owner, to take several animals from a residence to the Humane Society.
Okay, so a positive outcome there. Sometimes officers are the first responders for animals in bad situations. Good to see that worked out.
Yeah. Okay, moving away from animals. The landscape itself caused some drama. October 12th, there was a rescue call involving a kid stuck in the dam.
Whoa, okay, that sounds bad. In the water.
No, crucially not in the water. The report says stuck in the dam structure itself.
Ah, okay. Still dangerous, though. Dams are weird structures. Slippery concrete, steep angles, confined spaces.
Exactly. So this wasn't just a simple police call. It turned into a technical rescue. Fire department had to come out with special equipment.
Makes sense. You need ropes, ladders, maybe harnesses, stuff the fire department carries for those kinds of tricky extractions. Getting someone out safely from a weird spot like that takes coordination.
Yeah, definitely an all-hands-on-deck kind of situation, triggered by the geography.
For sure. And speaking of the great outdoors, we had the classic hunting season calls, too.
Oh, yeah. Like what? Lost hunters?
Well, more like accidental calls and suspicious sightings. October 10th, a bow hunter accidentally dialed 911.
The classic butt dial from the tree stand. Or maybe fumbling with gloves.
Probably. Or maybe using Siri or voice commands and it misheard. Happens all the time, especially when people are out in the woods, maybe hands are cold, fiddling with gear. Ties up 911 resources, but it's understandable.
Yeah, dispatch has to treat it like a real call until they confirm it's accidental. But you said suspicious sightings, too.
Yeah, October 11th. A hunter called in something kind of weird. Said he saw a guy in a side-by-side.
A side-by-side, like a UTV, those little off-road buggy things?
Exactly. Saw a guy in one of those going through his truck, which was parked presumably while he was out hunting.
Going through his truck. Like trying to break in.
That was the implication. But interestingly, the hunter checked his truck and nothing was actually missing.
Huh. So maybe the guy in the UTV was just looking around. Or maybe he got spooked before he could take anything.
Hard to say. But using a UTV is interesting. It suggests maybe someone local who knows the trails, using an off-road vehicle to get to places where parked trucks might be vulnerable, places a regular car couldn't easily reach.
Good point. Even if nothing was taken this time, just seeing that would make you pretty nervous about leaving your truck unattended out there.
You bet. It just reinforces that even way out in the woods, you got to be aware. The isolation that hunters seek also creates opportunities for mischief or worse.
So yeah, the outdoors presents dangers from wildlife, from the terrain itself, and sometimes from other people using that remoteness to their advantage.
Okay, let's pull our focus back into the city limits now. Antigo proper.
Back to the streets, the stores, the schools.
Exactly, where things are more concentrated. And this week it seems like tempers were running a little high.
Yeah, we're calling this part the rage reports. Seemed like folks were getting ticked off pretty easily.
It started early, October 7th. Disorderly conduct call. An angry guy at some local place nearly punched a staff member.
Ooh, nearly punched.
Yeah.
That definitely crosses the line, not just yelling anymore.
Right. That's heading towards assault. So officers had to step in, calm him down, talk about his behavior.
What was the outcome? Arrest.
No arrest mentioned. Sounds like they gave him the classic do not return instruction. Basically, you got to leave now and you're banned from coming back here. It de-escalates things without necessarily making an arrest, unless he refuses to leave or comes back later.
Standard procedure for dealing with someone losing it in a business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else?
Well, the anger wasn't just inside buildings. October 10th, police got called for people arguing loudly in a school parking lot after a football game.
Ah, the post-game passion spilling over parents, students.
Report just says verbal arguing. Could be anyone, really. Football games can stir up strong feelings, you know. Happens all the time. Usually cools down on its own, but sometimes the cops got to come remind people to take it down a notch.
True. But there was one incident that sounded way more serious than just arguing.
Oh, yeah. The big one for civil disorder this week, October 12th, late night, like 1:30 a.m.
What happened?
Call comes in about a fight happening, and crucially, someone involved was reportedly struggling to breathe.
Okay, that immediately makes it more serious. Medical emergency potential.
Exactly. And things escalated further because the report says a taser was deployed by the officers.
Wow. A taser. So things got really out of hand. Someone must have been resisting arrest or posing a threat.
That's usually the threshold, yeah. Tasers are generally used when someone's actively fighting, resisting, or seems like they're about to seriously hurt someone themselves, the officers, other people involved, and verbal commands or just grabbing them isn't working.
Especially with someone already having trouble breathing, the situation sounds super tense.
Extremely volatile. And the report adds another important detail. The person who was tased was eventually taken into custody at the local hospital.
Okay, why is going to the hospital significant there?
It's standard protocol after a taser is used. They need a medical checkup. Partly to make sure the taser itself didn't cause any unexpected problems, especially since this person was already reported struggling to breathe before the taser, and partly to check for injuries from the fight itself.
Gotcha. So it covers all the bases, medical and procedural. Sounds like a really intense, high-stakes call for everyone involved.
Definitely. Lots of paperwork and follow-up required on that one for sure.
Okay, shifting from flared tempers to sticky fingers. Let's talk about theft, specifically retail crime.
Always a factor in the city. We saw a couple of different types this week. First, on October 7th, looks like maybe more organized theft.
How so?
A local store reported a theft, but they had video evidence showing a woman stealing stuff on an earlier date.
Ah, so not caught in the act, but caught on camera later. Suggests maybe she'd done it before or was planning it?
Could be. Might be someone they recognize, a repeat offender hitting them up for certain items. Requires investigation after the fact.
Okay, then contrast that with October 12th, another retail theft, but this one was different.
Yeah, this one, the report described as the compliant shoplifter.
Huh. My favorite kind if I owned a store.
Right. The person was apparently cooperative when the police showed up. No running, no fighting, just, yep, you got me.
Makes the officer's job a lot easier, I bet. Less drama, just process the paperwork.
Significantly easier. Focus shifts to just getting the property back, documenting it, issuing the citation, or making the arrest if necessary. Much smoother.
Okay, but the most, modern theft story this week wasn't shoplifting, was it?
No, this one was really interesting. October 13th. Someone reports a theft from their home. They had ordered an iPhone. The package arrived.
Okay.
But the package was empty. The iPhone was gone. Box delivered, sealed, but no phone inside.
Whoa. So the theft happened somewhere before it got to their porch, like in transit.
That's the strong implication. This isn't your classic porch pirate grabbing a box off the step. This sounds like someone somewhere along the shipping route knew what was in the box, opened it, took the high-value item, and maybe resealed it to look undisturbed.
Jeez. That's way more sophisticated. Could be an inside job at the shipping company, or just really slick thieves targeting electronics.
Could be either. It's a totally different kind of investigation than catching someone walking out of a store. Much harder to track down where the breach happened, a real sign of the times for theft.
No kidding. And speaking of inside jobs, there was another one reported, right? Check fraud.
Yeah, October 14th. A business reported check fraud, and the report specifies it was believed to be committed by an employee.
Ouch. That's got to hurt worse than random theft. Someone you trust.
Absolutely. It breaks that internal trust, and the investigation gets complicated fast. You're dealing with employment issues, needing maybe forensic accounting to figure out the extent of it. It's messy.
Yeah, way beyond a simple police report. Okay, let's lighten it up a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Not all calls are about crime and drama. Sometimes it's just people needing help.
Exactly. The unfortunate citizen incidents, maybe. Or just community service moments. Like on October 7th, an officer helped someone out at a local gas station, gave them a ride home.
Nice. Just a simple act of kindness probably made a big difference to that person. Good community policing.
Totally. Just solving a basic problem for someone. And then there were the lockouts. Seems like people were locking their keys places this week.
Happens to the best of us. It happened.
Well, October 10th, someone got locked out at the middle school. Maybe staff staying late or an event, needed help getting back in.
Okay.
And then on October 12th, 2 separate times, different people called because they'd locked their keys in their car.
The classic car lockout. Annoying in the city, but imagine that happening way out in the county somewhere.
Oh, man, yeah. Suddenly, it's not just an inconvenience, it's a major problem. You could be miles from anywhere, no quick locksmith nearby. Those little mistakes get amplified by the rural setting.
All right, now for the part that really gets the local rumor mill going, right? The stuff that didn't quite get solved this week. The weird sightings, the mysteries.
Yeah, the ambiguous stuff, the loose ends. And let's start with the one that probably caused the biggest stir, the unsolved man in the mask.
Ooh, okay. Tell me about this one. Sounds creepy.
October 10th, deputies get a call. Someone reporting seeing a man walking around, wearing a mask, wearing coveralls, and carrying a knife.
Ooh, mask, coveralls, and a knife. That's like something out of a movie. Terrifying. Was he threatening anyone?
That's the weird part. The report specifically notes he wasn't seen threatening anyone. He was just walking around like that.
Just strolling along, dressed like a potential slasher villain, that's almost weirder.
It is, because it's so unsettling. He wasn't actively committing a crime they could see, but that whole image screams danger or wrongness.
So what happened? Did they find him?
Nope. Deputies searched the area but couldn't locate him. He just vanished, which leaves everyone feeling uneasy.
Yeah, no kidding. Why do you think a sighting like that hits harder psychologically than maybe seeing, like that fight we talked about earlier?
That's a great question. I think it's about predictability and intent. A fight, even a bad one, usually has some context, maybe alcohol, a previous argument. You can kind of understand the why, even if it's wrong.
Okay.
But a masked man with a weapon, just walking, the motive is totally unknown. Is it a really bad prank? Is it someone having a mental health crisis? Or is it someone planning something terrible, scouting who maybe got interrupted?
Right. The anonymity, the weapon, the lack of obvious reason. It's the unknown that's scary.
Exactly. And because they didn't find him, didn't figure out what was going on, people's minds fill in the blanks with the worst possibilities. It ramps up that feeling of anything could happen, really shakes that sense of small-town safety.
Yeah, I can see that. And maybe that ties into the other suspicious activity calls, people just feeling generally uneasy.
Could be. We saw a few of those. October 7th, a suspicious vehicle found parked in a local park. Empty, locked up, but still seemed out of place enough for someone to call it in.
Okay.
Then, October 9th, suspicious activity reported at a local church. No details on what it was, but someone saw something that didn't sit right.
And someone asked for extra patrols.
Yeah, October 11th, a citizen specifically requested extra police patrols in the woods behind their house. That suggests they're having ongoing worries about who or what might be back there.
Maybe related to that UTV sighting near the hunter's truck?
Yeah.
Or just general unease about remote areas?
Could be anything. And then October 14th, a report of a suspicious woman seen looking into cars in a parking lot.
Yeah, that's classic pre-theft behavior, right? Checking for unlocked doors or valuables left out.
Exactly. It shows people are being vigilant, watching out for that kind of stuff, which is good. Citizens acting as eyes and ears.
Definitely needed, especially if resources are stretched thin.
Yeah.
Okay, what other puzzles did the police deal with? Found items.
Oh, yeah. The eternal cycle of lost and found. This week felt like a big swap meet at the station.
What the hell?
Let's see. Someone reported a bicycle stolen, but they weren't sure when exactly, sometime between August and now. Makes it super hard to investigate when the time frame is that wide.
Yeah, needle in a haystack.
Then good news. A wallet was found and turned in. Keys were found, neatly put in an envelope. Someone found a lost cat, and someone else found an iPhone. All around October 13th.
A wallet, keys, cat, and an iPhone found around the same time. What does that tell you?
Two things, I think. One, you've got honest folks in the community who will do the right thing and turn in valuable stuff like wallets and phones. That's good to see.
Definitely.
But two, the sheer amount of lost stuff, especially high-value things like phones, suggests people are maybe moving fast, distracted, juggling too much. It creates this constant churn of property that the police have to manage.
Yeah, they got to log it all, try to find the owners. Must be a pain.
It's a significant administrative task for sure. Secure storage, tracking, attempting owner contact. Takes time.
Okay, last piece of the puzzle. The procedural stuff. The work that happens kind of behind the scenes, but is really important, like at the probation and parole office.
Exactly. We noticed that popping up multiple times in the reports, October 7th, 10th, and 14th. There were actions listed like warrant execution or probation hold connected to that offense.
Okay, remind us what those mean again.
Sure. A warrant execution is basically when officers find and arrest someone who already has a warrant out for them. Maybe they missed court or violated something earlier. A probation hold is when someone who's already on probation or parole gets detained, usually by their supervising officer, because they allegedly violated the rules of their release. They're held until there can be a hearing about the violation.
Gotcha. So seeing those pop up regularly means the system is actively checking up on people who are supposed to be following certain rules.
Precisely. It's the ongoing enforcement work, making sure people are complying with court orders or release conditions. It doesn't always make headlines, but it's a crucial part of maintaining order and safety, the system catching violations.
Right, the less visible but necessary grind of the justice system.
Yep. And finally, we can't forget the tech fails that add to the workload.
The accidental 911 call.
Always a few. October 14th, a bicyclist accidentally dialed 911 using Siri. October 12th, a kid playing with a phone managed to call 911. Happens constantly. And every single one, dispatch has to try and call back or send an officer just to make sure it wasn't a real emergency where someone couldn't speak. It burns time and resources, just a modern reality.
The price of having emergency contact in our pockets, I guess. Hashtag tag outro.
So, okay, let's try and wrap this all up. We look back at this 1 week, October 7th to 15th, in Antigo and Langlade County. What's the big picture?
Well, it feels like a real mix, doesn't it? You've got some seriously scary stuff happening out in the county, those insane speeds, the fridge in the road.
Right, high-risk, high-speed dangers. And then in the city, you have that intense fight needing a taser, the thefts, definite moments of conflict and crime.
But then, like, threaded through all that, just regular small-town life, people hitting deer constantly, people losing their keys, cops giving someone a ride home, animal rescues.
Exactly. It's not all chaos and crime. A lot of it is just the routine rhythm of the community, dealing with predictable problems like deer or helping neighbors or handling lost property. It's punctuated by those intense moments, but the baseline is more.
So, for you listening, our local learner, what's the takeaway here?
I think it's that even when things seem quiet on the surface, the official records show there's always something interesting or weird or even dangerous happening nearby. You know, we saw a high-tech crime, that empty iPhone box, right alongside really old-school rural problems like silage spills.
Yeah. It's a community dealing with both modern issues and challenges that have probably been around forever, just shaped by the local geography.
It's a really fascinating snapshot when you dig into it.
Okay, which leads us perfectly into our moral of the week. Based on everything we sifted through from this first half of October,
Let's hear it.
the moral of the week is twofold. First, please secure your cargo, especially if it's, a major appliance. Let's keep the refrigerators off the highway, folks.
Sound advice. And the second part.
Second, secure your digital assets, or at least your deliveries. If you got a pricey new phone coming, maybe track that package closely. Be home for it, or have a neighbor grab it. Don't let it become another unsolved logistics mystery.
Very practical. All right, so before we sign off, let's leave everyone with one final thought to chew on, something that kind of connects the dots from today.
Okay, hit us with it.
Given what we saw, the repeated reports of cars going incredibly fast, like over 100 mile per hour on those county roads, and the constant stream of car versus deer accidents, what's the connection there?
You mean, are the high speeds making the deer collisions even more likely or more severe?
Exactly. Or maybe even, does the nature of those long, straight, seemingly empty rural roads encourage people to drive at risky speeds, which then directly increases the chances they won't be able to react when a deer inevitably jumps out? Is the environment itself contributing to both problems?
Interesting question. Are the speed demons also the deer magnets? Or is everyone just playing deer roulette out there?
Something to think about maybe next time you're out on one of those state roads. Or maybe just when you're double-checking the straps on your cargo.
Good final thought. All right, folks, that's our deep dive for this week. Until next time, drive safe, lock up your stuff physical and digital, and keep an eye out for those weird little procedural puzzles.